Hello everyone, my name is Mohit and you are watching Python Multiprocessing. So you are welcome in Python parallel programming series. So in this series, we will see Python multiprocessing. So first of all, what is multiprocessing? In the previous videos, we have seen multi-threading. So Python multiprocessing is similar to multi-threading. Python multiprocessing creates subprocesses instead of threads. By using these subprocesses, multiprocessing evades the GIL, Global Interpreter Lock, and we have spent a lot of time on GIL. Additionally, it runs on both Unix and Windows platform, and it can take the advantage of multi-core processors. The thread uses a single core processing system, single core system, but the multiprocessing can take the advantage of your multi-core system. Means if you have Core i7, Core i9, Core i5, your multiprocessing, this Python multiprocessing can take the advantage of core system. So in this videos series, we will see Python multiprocessing, processor class, daemon processes, the communication between the processes by using file, by using shared memory, by using communication channel. So first of all, let's see multiprocessing. So I have already told you about the definition of multiprocessing. Multiprocessing can take the advantage of multi-core system. Multi-threading. First, we always try multi-threading. If multi-threading fails, means there are a lot of CPU bound tasks. Then we have to use the multiprocessing. In the threading series, we have seen what is IO bound and what is the CPU bound. If the task is related to CPU bound, then use always multiprocessing instead of multi-threading. In order to create multiprocessing, we use process class. The processes are generated by creating an object of process class, which is already defined in multiprocessing module. Okay, now let's see the practical implementation. For multiprocessing system to run the multiprocessing program, I am using Linux environment. Okay, so this is my program from multiprocessing. When I say multiprocessing means it is a module, this is a class, this is a function that I want to run by using the processes. Okay, so here I'm taking using the argument one parameter. So this is a child process P and target function name and argument Mohit in a tuple, or you can use list too, not an issue. And this one means start the process. Save this one. So I can use desktop. Folder is not, yeah, folder multi create save mp1 dot py and save. In order to run this one, we will use terminal. Use a terminal. cd desktop python 3. Let's see the 3.5 and exit. So do we have Python 3.8? Yes, we have 3.8. So I'm using Python 3.8. Sorry, 3.8 and program name is mp1. Yes, done. So I'm getting an answer. You may be wondered, why am I using Linux operating system? If you use Windows operating system, this program may give you error. Okay, like forking error and process finish bootstrapping error. So better to use Linux if you are going to use multiprocessing. Okay, this is my personal opinion. I'm not saying Windows is good, Linux is good, but this is my personal opinion and personal experience. If you are going to use multi-processing environment, try to use Linux operating system or any other operating system except Windows. The program running fine. So this is our first program of multi-processing. Consider if you want to create 5 process. So simple here. We can create 5 process by using the for loop. For each in range 5 start, and instead of Mohit I'm passing the each here. Okay, start and run. Now int object is not writable. Okay, let me check what's happened. Okay, so here comma in order to make it tuple. So I'm getting hello 0 4 1 2 3. Okay, so this is multiprocessing simultaneous execution. So if we want to print the processor ID and process name, so we can use the current process. So now let's use the current process and current process. So process is already present and need to add current process. So here use print current process name. Oh, sorry, name and print. So let's write in a single line. So, let's try to write in a single line current process and current. So it's current process, not current. And similarly here, current process dot PID. Completed. Let's run this one. Okay. That's error here by mistake. So hello one, hello two. So process one, this is a process ID, and this is the process ID for process four. This is process five, process three, process two. Okay, so in this way you can print the name of process as well as its process ID. In the third chapter, you have seen the join. Join to means wait until the child process completes a task. So consider if I want to write here print task finished. Let's run this program again. So I'm getting task finished in the first line, but I have written at the end. I have written at the end, but I'm getting at the starting because the main thread runs this line, executed this line before child thread, all the child thread execute this one, this code. Okay, so that's why we are getting this line at the first place. So if I want to obtain this line at the end of all this stuff, then we have to use the join method. So I'm not using this one system is this for loop. I'm just creating two, sorry, two processes, process one and similarly process two. So here I'm writing process one and process two. Okay, so this should be in a string form. So I'm getting task finish in the first line again. Okay. So I want to print this task finish at the end of the execution. So I need to use here p1.join method. Join method will pause the main thread until p1 finish a task. So we have to do same thing for p2. It means that this line means p2 dot join will stop the main thread, means pause the main thread until p2 child thread complete his task. Okay, now let's run this one. Now I'm getting this task finish at the end of the execution. So similarly, if you are going to use for loop, consider if I use for loop here for each in range 5. I'm not using this one identity. Instead of process one, I'm using each. If I use join method, so we need to use something different mechanism. Like first, create a list of all the processes, list one, and put all the processes in that list. List one dot append process P, and after that for P in list one join simultaneously P dot join one by one join. Okay, done. Task finish. So this is a way of doing that. So this is a way of creating the join in a for loop. So this is about the little introduction about the how to create a multi-process, how to use join, how to see the process ID, how to see the current process. Okay, so in the next video we will see about the communication between the multi-process. The communication between the multi-processing is not easy as we have seen in the multi-threading because multi-threading can share the memory. So in the next video we will see about the communication of multi-processing. Okay, bye bye. See you in next video.